is a reversion or a impression of the Stockhausen WELT-PARLAMENT. What I felt important whilst I was reading the libretto was that it needed to be quite current. So I want to appeal to people who may be new to his music, give them an entry point, but I also wanted to connect it to the current climate politically as well. The reason why I actually chose WELT-PARLAMENT was because I saw a doorway which said that if you was able to just ask the simple question to actual members of Parliament, then the libretto will essentially create itself for this new piece, and you need data to create the music.
What was that question?
The question was very simply, what is love to you? Vanessa essentially is the stenographer, and using the piano as like a symbolic representation of the debate being documented and then being formulated into legislation via AI technology, which is my performance.
I didn't know Darren. He knew me, and obviously going through Stockhausen's music, he came across my name, and that's how everything started from his side. I met Stockhausen when I gave him my recording of his piece. I was very young, teenager, and I was immediately fascinated by his music when I heard it even before. I was kind of 11 years old. I heard a concert, a pianist playing his music, and I very modestly said, one day I will be at his place.
I've focused so far on the choir and the piano, so I've focused on the choir to start and then the piano. And then there will be field recordings that I will do, live field recordings. I'm going to do that after, once we've done this. And then I'll start to build certain atmospherics, electronic atmospherics, haze, maybe sort of like weather conditions that people can hear, slight bass tones and bass systems sort of carrying and sort of undulating within the piece as well. I'm not the same sort of musician as Stockhausen, and I don't come from the same era as Stockhausen. And I do listen to a lot of impressionistic music, classical music particularly anyway, so like Ravel and Fiore and things like this. So you could almost say that the music that I'm going to be doing is almost like an impressionistic version of Stockhausen and WELT-PARLAMENT. In terms of finding Stockhausen within the piece, I've tried to look and engage in terms of like how his ideas were formulated.
One of the first composers he listened to in classical music was Stockhausen. You know, he wasn't listening to a lot of classical music, and he went to study electronic production, and one of the first composers he was introduced to was Stockhausen, which is, you know, that's fairly rare, isn't it? You might grow up with Mozart or Bach or something, but for Darren it was Stockhausen, and he's obviously stuck with it. One of the things I love about Stockhausen as well is he's a complete individual. It's especially his later music, you can't really tie it back to any lineage, or you can't really connect it to any canon. It's just kind of out there on its own, doing its wonderful thing in the kind of classical music world. And I feel the same about Darren actually in the electronic production world. He's not, like, you can't really connect his music to anybody, a canon, a history. It's really just coming from a fresh approach, making something new.
It's been a lot of fun actually, despite the density of and the complexity of the actual piece. That's actually been a lot of fun to actually write.